Hi, family. I am Dr. Mo, and I am your favorite colon hydrotherapist. I want to talk to you about reciprocity and compensation. I want to talk to you about friendship versus client or coach. I want to talk to you about being a friend or being a coach, right? So I am in the human design system. I don't know if you know about the human design system. I am a projector, a 5/1 self-projected projector in human design. And so every day for about an hour, I study myself, and I study myself within that system. So yesterday I'm studying, and I come across this statement in regards to projectors and being in business, and projectors making friends while in business. And so a projector wrote this article, and she said that oftentimes as projectors, we will have people fall into one of two categories. We will either be coaching them or they will be a friend. But the challenge with being a friend to someone like me who is a projector is what we call reciprocity. The level of reciprocity is like this. Because technically the person in front of me does not want to be my friend. They want me to coach them, but to coach them under the guise of friendship. But the problem is that projectors don't need anything. We are where we need to be. And so our level of friendship is very, very deep. But because people are very surface and superficial, it doesn't connect. Because what they really seek from someone like me is to coach, or to be coached, and to be guided, and to be educated on whatever it is that we're talking about. Now, when I looked at that, I said, oh my God, this lady hit it on the head. This is exactly how my whole entire life has been displayed. Literally, my whole entire life has been displayed. And that's all relationships. That's friendships, and that is personal relationships. I have had my exes say to me, honestly, I just wanted you to help me get well. What? And this is like 2 or 3 years after we've been together. And I'm just like, so that makes a lot of sense on why you're moving. Okay. And I just quickly, like, I have no issues shifting you from friend to client. I have no issues. It is very rare that people go from client to friendship. That does not work. So as I'm thinking about this from our own personal understanding and alignment, I said, oh my God, this is exactly what happens as a service-based practitioner. Once people find out what I do and how I do it, or that I train people, they immediately want to be my new best friend. Oh, hey girl, let's go out. Or I got this, or I got that, or I brought you this, or let's have dinner, let's do it. So all these things start happening, and when I start pausing, I don't need any new best friends. I have a good amount of friends that are lovely, and we go deep, and you can't go deep and intimate with people just like that. Like, that takes time. So to get into my personal space, you're not just going to just pop up and do it. Oh, no. I cherish my friendships. Cherish all of my relationships. And so that, in turn, my behavior becomes, I am your guide, or your coach, or your colon therapist. That's it. And with that are certain boundaries, like you cannot reach me after hours or before hours. Nope. And I am a stickler for that. Stickler. I'm a stickler for access. Your access is different if you are a client versus if you are my friend. Those levels of access are very different. So when I'm training clients, that is one thing that I bring up for them is reciprocity or compensation. You're always going to have those two things sitting in front of you when you're dealing with a client, when you're of service. So when people stand in front of you, you're going to deem them as a friend or as a client. Depending on which category you put them in will determine very specific behaviors, very specific protocols, very specific levels of access. You even require different words. You don't talk the same that I would talk to a client or a friend. I used two different languages from a client than I would with a friend. So once you understand that, it gets very, very easy. I'm not coaching my friends on nothing. We're just being friends. We're just being women. We're just hanging out. And when I feel that it starts to get to every single time we talk, you're needing something from me. And I'm very quick with picking that up. I'm very quick. Before I wasn't. And before I was used. I was used a lot. You know who you are, so I'm pretty sure you're still watching me. I'm pretty sure. But now, I catch it like that. I shut it down like that. I shut it down. I have no issues having those very difficult conversations about reciprocity or compensation. I have no issue saying that if you want this level of access to me, this is the investment from you. Even when I do quote unquote free workshops or anything like that, I still send a sacred reciprocity link for payment, because some people are like, you know what, I need to give something. Here's the link. And as you should, it should be an exchange. Now, when we talk about even exchange, that's something different. But what I do know for a fact is that when I call any of my friends, I'm not calling in need of anything. It's very rare that I call my friends with a need. Now, if I find out that every time you call me, you're needing something, or you are depressed, or I need to pick you up, or I have to empower you, I will send you an invoice before we move forward. I will send you a payment link before we move forward, because that's what I do for a living. So I am here to share with you, practitioners, do not get caught up in that. I teach all of my new students this same process. And even when we get to advanced level, I am still reminding you reciprocity versus compensation, friend versus client. Know the difference. Are you a friend or are you a coach? Know the difference. You have to know the difference, or you're going to be a very sour practitioner. I got sour in my business for a while. I want to say for about a year. I thought about not working anymore in this field. I mean, it got to the point where, I realized that the majority of people that were around me were haters. They were jealous. They wanted to see my demise. My relationships, personal, all those, well, I don't want to say all. I don't want to say all, but, the majority of my exes, tried to just like extinguish me. It was weird. It was a weird time. And I'm just sitting around like, what is happening here? What is happening? And I'm like, oh, you are upset because I put you in this category that is applicable to you. And you are hoping that I don't know my worth. That's why the pushback is the way it is. Okay. And I continue to place them in those categories. Friend, client, reciprocity, compensation. Those are your only two roles with me. The only two roles. You're either a client of mine or you're a friend. 99.9% of the people stay in the client category because reciprocity is something that, and I hate to say this, but it's so true. Reciprocity is something that people often don't practice because people have so many needs. Their needs are not met. Their basic needs are not met. So they're constantly looking to take and to absorb and to take and to absorb and to take and to absorb. I don't move like that. My cup is constantly overflowing. So the level of reciprocity will never be met in a friendship position. But in a compensation model, for sure. This is what you need. Once the invoice is paid, I will move forward. I have no issues with that. So when you get very clear about reciprocity versus compensation, friend versus client, the lines get very clear. Your business gets very clear. Noise level becomes quiet. You don't have a lot of chaos moving around. You don't have a lot of confusion happening. I pride myself on clarity, being very clear, the who, what, when, where, and why, and how much, and how long. The first time I communicate with you, I often have people completely overlook the communication and ask me, how much is it? How long is it? What date is it? And my response is, refer back to the communication I just sent you. Everything's there. But in order to be at that level of organization and intention, you have to know your role. You have to know your purpose. My purpose with everybody is coach, and I'm compensated. It's very rare that I have any new friends that stay, if you get what I mean. Because once I find out you're just here to suck me dry for information, which hasn't happened in a long time. It's happened, but it used to happen all the time, but now it doesn't. Once I find out, I just act accordingly. And you know immediately, because your access to me has been cut off. And people are like, what happened? Like, you're not showing up the way you used to show up. And I have no issues saying why I'm not showing up. Oh, I realize that you're actually wanting to be a client of mine, but you don't want to pay me for my services. So I cut you off. Yeah, that's why I cut you off. And people are like, oh my God. And I'm like, no, let's look at the last 5 times you've called me. And then look at the last 5 times I've called you for anything. And they go, well, you know, I didn't mean, no, you saw an opportunity and you took it and it's okay and you've been called. It's okay. You just won't be able to do it again. Not with me. Now, don't hold it any personal, because that will turn into cancer. That will turn into an illness. Holding on to grudges and holding on to conversations and holding on to people. Don't do it. Don't do it. You will get sick. You will lose your shine. Your edges will fall out. Your hair will fall out. Girl, bye. I am not interrupting any of this chocolate. You must be out your mind. That's a no. But you can still book an appointment as long as you pay in full. I'll still take your money. And that's just how you got to be with things. You can't allow it to harden you. You can't. I've been there. Trust me. It's not nice. You don't want to go there. Stay soft. Stay gentle. Care for yourself. But more importantly, put people where they need to be placed. If you want to survive and thrive. If you don't care about that, trust me, the world will eat you up and spit you out if you don't have any boundaries about yourself. They will. I love myself to the 10th power, and I have so many boundaries around this fortress. Let me tell you, baby, let me tell you. This ain't as simple as just cracking a lock. And to get to this, oh, no. Now, I will flirt with you all day long to make you think that you inside, but you're not. That's how good you should get with your game about you. That's how good you should get about your existence on this planet. Make it so enticing that people will fall in line, regardless of where you place them. They will fall in line because they want to be near you. You get to place them where you need to place them, either reciprocity or compensate me. But it can't be both. No. So with that being said, I hope this provides some clarity for specifically service-based practitioners, because this is something that kept coming up when I was young and trying to understand, like, why people are responding to me the way they are responding. Why am I moving the way I'm moving? Why did I feel like that? Like I felt off, like she just used me. Well, she did. She did just use you under the guise of your friendship. She did. Yes. So this is a level of trusting yourself. This is a level of loving yourself first. This is a level of betting on yourself first. As a service-based entrepreneur, you have to come first. And you also have to understand that people are either going to be friends or clients, but they can't be both. Same thing with relationships. They're either going to be your partner in life or your client. You cannot do both. Learn from my mistakes. All of my exes should have been clients. Every last one of them. They should not have been partners. Well, 2 of them could stay a partner, but the other ones, nah, they should have been clients. Yeah, so those are just my non-negotiables. Like, clients will never shift down into, or not down, but crossover. For me, I've tried it. It doesn't work for me. I have tried it. So if you start off as a client, I just keep you there as a client. Now, our levels of familiarity will shift, right? Maybe in the beginning, I was very strict with the access to me and how we talk. It may get a little bit more lax, but crossing over into friendship, I take my friendships very seriously. I take my friendship contracts very seriously, and not everybody can get into that pool. I don't want everybody into that pool because I am very, protective of my friend circle. Very protective. Like, I've curated this circle. Ain't nobody coming in this circle messing it up. Like, my friends are top-notch people, men and women, and you just can't get into that circle. So, yeah. I hope this helps. My name is Dr. Mo, and if you would like to know more about me or work with me, please reach out. My phone number is 562-682-0818, and my website is Moya, Moya, bodycare.com. Until then, stay magical.